be here at the disco. Let me tell you what happened to me the other day. At the Piggly, standing in line, feeling nervous, waiting my time. Then a large can fell from my coat, so I shouted before they took note. Who threw that ham at me? Who threw that ham at me? Hey, please, did anyone see? Who threw that ham at me?
I want to go home now, you idiots.
Okay, disco garbage can. Yeah, flip your lid. Disco garbage can. Flip your lid. Yeah, get down. Alright. Twirl. Everyone twirl. So I turned and walked away. Like later on I would go and pay. Then it happened when I stopped. A frozen bird fell with a plop.
My family is waiting for me.
A frozen bird fell with a plop. Who flung this turkey at me? Who flung this turkey at me? What's going on? Didn't you see? Someone threw a turkey at me. Yeah, disco garbage can, everybody. Yeah, flip your lid. Disco garbage can. Yeah, do the disco garbage can. Who threw that ham at me? Who threw that ham at me? Hey, didn't anybody see? Who threw that ham at me? Who threw that ham at me? Disco garbage can, everybody. Yeah, get down. Yeah, that's really great. Yeah, go for it, baby. Yeah, that's really great. Well, everybody, I've made my scene here at the disco tonight, so I'm going on to the next disco. Hopefully, I'll see you there. These four rooms, bright and iron and withered fumes, far below these sinful means.
Hey guys, welcome to the Dave Darren Show. I've got my cool glasses on, and you know why? Because I'm hiding from the census. I'm hiding from the senseless people who are supposed to be, they're supposed to be knocking on your door, but now they're not knocking on your door because of the coronavirus. So we're going to get to the senseless later on. Let me take off the glasses because for this part of it, I don't have to hide my eyes and be incognito because right now I'm not hiding from the senseless until we get to the top of the hour. Then we're going to talk about the senseless. Isn't that? And by the way, I'm wearing my rings today, and I'm wearing my neck choker or whatever you want to call it, and I'm wearing the fancy shirt. And you know why? Because I'm starting to think that we better come back to our way of life that we had living in our lives 6 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, 7 weeks ago. I've started losing track of time. You know, I'm starting to think all of this coronavirus thing, all this COVID-19, how real is this? How real was this threat? I'll tell you, let me backtrack a bit. when all this shit started happening, let me call it what it is. All this shit started happening. I was an unbeliever. I thought, we're going to what? Close down the entire United States economy? That's the direction we're going? What? What are we doing? I thought, this is total nonsense. And as time went on and I started listening to the news, don't listen to the fucking news, by the way. Start listening to the news. You start getting brainwashed into thinking, okay, maybe we should close down shit. Maybe we should stay separated with social distancing from people. And I started to buy into that. Now as we've gotten to the 6th week, the 7th week, and there's protests going on, you know, I'm starting to think, how legitimate was this to begin with? And I'm not saying that the president wasn't legitimate in his dialogue up there with the team, the coronavirus access team or whatever you call it. What's the name for them again? I always forget the name for them. But I was buying into it. And then I started thinking about it. I started thinking about all of this shit that's going on. First of all, I wrote down some notes. First of all, the topic for tonight, the bullet points, we're going to get to the senseless at the top of the hour. But I want to talk about this a little bit. There's not enough people joining right now, and that's okay because I can do a monologue about this. And you guys can play it back if you at all care about this part of the show. But were we all fooled? Were we fooled? Did we need to close the government, the country down? Not the government, the country down. Of course, the government and the country includes the people, the governors. Of course, a lot of their teams were no longer as relevant as they were when the full, getting business licenses and all that, all the part of the government that did all that kind of shit. Marriage license, DMVs are all part of local governments, right? So governments were shut down as well. We were talking about the country being shut down. Parts of the local governments were shut down as well, right? Don't overlook that, by the way. Was it attempt as a liberal takeover? You know what? Let me talk about that. You know, when we talk about what took place as the weeks rolled on, things were closed down. We were put in isolation. I did a show a while back about isolation. Are we being isolated so that the aliens can come from wherever they are and start having these meetings with the government leaders across the world? And we'll be isolated in our homes, not looking up in the sky, isolated, scared out of our minds about getting this coronavirus, not wanting to go out and touch anything or anybody or any surface. Are we staying in the home and we're not looking out for in the skies to what's landing to be talking to our leaders, potentially either in a understanding of aliens or a hostile takeover by invaders? You know, I did that kind of I read about it and I thought, okay, it might be an interesting topic to present. But the more I thought about it, the isolation, we're separate from other people with the exception of social media, which social media is a derivative of what the media wants to have out there. You're well aware that Facebook blocks shit. They might even block this show tonight. And YouTube blocks shit when they don't agree with it, right? Or someone goes in there and reports you because they don't agree with your point of view, and then the show gets blocked, or your opinion gets blocked, or your point of view gets blocked because someone disagreed with you, reported you because they're tattletales, and what happens is your show gets blocked. Your interpretation and your theories or your conspiracies or your logical approach to a topic gets shut down, and your freedom of speech gets shut down. So you start thinking about, we're in isolation. What are we not isolated to do? We're not isolated from social media. However, we're isolated potentially from what social media wants you to be able to get out there, and what the people want, the leaders want to be out there. The leaders being the government that's monitoring a lot of this shit, controlling a lot of the shit that they want out there by controlling the media. And the media is well in their back pockets to get what they want out there. It's not what you want to hear. It's not what you are supposed to hear. It's not what you're supposed to be able to understand, interpret, and make your own conjectures about, or your logical interpretation. It's all what is fed into your mind is what's going on here. So we're isolated with the exception of social media, which social media is a controlled environment. We're not free to explore or understand. It's being manipulated so that they can get their message out, not the logistics of what's accurate, but what they want their speaking and talking points to be. So we're isolated. We're not meeting the people that we typically would meet, maybe in coffee shops, to meet that one guy who's more educated in the real story of what's going on. We're isolated away from those people, so that we are, the only thing we're not isolated from is social media and the news media and the news sources and those talking fucking heads, so that their fucking heads and brains can be mind melded like the Klingon who are those guys? The Vulcan mind meld. And we're mind melded in, so all of their knowledge that is interpreted the way they want it interpreted is placed into our minds. It's brainwashing, is what it is. So we're sitting here in isolation. Hold on a second, some tea. We're being isolated, we're being manipulated, we're being exposed to what they want us to be exposed to their benefit. Now, all this started in China. We called it the China. We're not allowed to call it the China virus anymore, right? I remember Trump was up there calling it the China virus, and it was accurate. To our knowledge right now, we still think that this came from China. And of course, we have the World Health Organization, the WHO, as in who the fuck are they? That's what the WHO stands for. Who the fuck are they is the WHO, right? Who are they to tell us what is going on when they don't have a grasp on reality, and they are not independent sources of reality. They are manipulated sources of unreality based upon the reality that they project out to the people that they are trying to manipulate, all right? That's what's going on here. So we got them out there. We got China. We can't call it the China. You know, everything now is so offensive, right? It came from China. It's the China virus. I remember that came out, and everyone is up in arms that we called it the China virus. It's racist. It's offensive. No, it's accurate, all right? Prove it to not be accurate. Of course, we won't get any proof, because anyone that has any availability to prove it is being hushed by the World Health Organization, the media, and liberals who don't want the real meaning of this put out there. I really think this is I thought that this was a conspiracy theory. Now I think this is more reality than conspiracy theory. We're isolated, we're separated from other human beings, with the only exposure to other human beings, again, being social media, manipulated so that we understand what they want us to understand. We can't talk to that person, and we can't share ideas and concepts, and we're being isolated, so we're being controlled, manipulated, and used. And now if you really think about it, you know, liberals, what do they want? It's schools. The whole education system is taught by liberals. And the whole liberal agenda is to make themselves more valuable. How do they make themselves more valuable? They brainwash the young people to think that they need the government in their pockets, not in their pockets, up their asses, to manipulate their mouth like a puppet and manipulate where they go, how they get there. They want complete control of the human race. That's what the liberals want. If you think about it, what do they have now? They've got control. We're locked away. We're being fed what they want us to understand. We're being manipulated so we can't go to these individual places. We can't escape. So we're isolated with our frame of mind being closed, our exposure being closed, our focus being closed, so that the only thing that enters this head is their way of thinking. And to top it all off, of course, now we have so many people unemployed. But you know what we're being given now? We're being given an extra $600 on top of the unemployment, so that we are all now being distributed with socialized money. We're actually on Social Security at a younger age. We're on Social Security, a socialized program to distribute wealth from the government to our pockets, so that we are more content with the way we are living our lives right now. Instead of wanting to go out there and contribute to society by working, by earning, not being entitled to, by earning our better way of supporting our family, we no longer have that ability to do that, because businesses are closed down, because they were closed down by these liberals who want government to control individual people by closing down their exposure to other beings, exposure to their work environment, but complete exposure to socialized programs, which one of them is distributing social monies to individual people in the form of unemployment and the extra $600 a week. That's $2,400 a month. That's more than some people make in their small, tiny jobs where they've been liberals all along, content making that minimum wage. And I know people fucking hate me when I say this shit because then they think, oh, here's a one percenter guy, Dave, who's got an amount of wealth. He's driving around in a BMW. No calls right now, please. No calls right now. Let me do my monologue, all right? Then we'll take calls. But this is exactly what I think. I think we're being manipulated. We're being used. We're being controlled in a test tube environment, which in technology they call the sandbox. They're doing Q&A on us. They're doing QC, quality control on us, to see what quality they've got in the control of Dave Darren, in control of everyone that's watching this program, to see how it's going. They want to see how it's going. They probably are running it on Team Foundation server, which is a piece of technology. They probably have JIRA tickets running. If you're in technology, you know all this stuff. Probably got JIRA tickets and running it on TFS to see how much control they got on us and see if they have to change anything. They probably have a project plan. They're probably running Microsoft Project with tasks to see how Dave Darren and his entourage of people are doing, how Rush Limbaugh and his entourage of people are doing. Probably have a whole project plan on this with a go-live date of when. What's the go-live date? When they have complete control. The world has complete control of every single individual on this planet, controlled by the governments in those countries that then have more power over their people, and the collective governments of those countries, including ours, has a collection of control of the people within the world. That's what we got going on. And if you don't believe it, I'm starting to really believe it now. I am starting to really believe it now. See if anyone's got anything to say. And don't forget, at the top of the hour, we're going to go over to the senseless, or the census, if you want to call it that. I call it the senseless. See if anyone's got anything to say. Let me say hello to Kathleen. She says, wasn't me. I'm not sure what that means. See, I got to scroll up and read what was said prior to make it a continuous understanding of what I'm reading in the chats. Fucking ass early calls piss me off, something fierce. You know, I didn't answer the call. I said, I'm doing a monologue. I like to do monologues. You know what? I enjoy monologues. I'm starting to really get off on monologues. I should have a mirror here so that when I do monologues, I can whack off knowing how good I'm doing in my monologue. Gold mug. Yeah, this is my gold mug. Because I'm in the 1%ers that the liberals friggin' hate, because we still want to control our own destinies. We have the ability to control our own destinies, don't we? Don't we have the ability to manipulate our own bodies, have our brains function where we have a capacity to understand, dissect, and logistically figure out what's going on without someone have to force feed us everything. Force feed us money. Force feed us ideas. Force feed us in our movements or our lack of movements. This is what this is all coming down to. And I'm really pretty sick of it. Is there going to be a civil war? You know, I used to monitor social media, and, you know, I tried to stay out of politics. You can't. It's like, this is like the Godfather, where Pacino is out there and he's no longer involved in the mafia. And one of the things is, and I can't do his voice, but he's being dragged back into the mafia. I can't resist. I'm pulled back. I sound more like the Rocky Balboa's trainer. What was his name? Nick? I forget his name. You can't win, Rock. Hell, knock it on my Rock. I do a better, what was his name? I forget his name. Burgess Meredith. I do a better Burgess Meredith from Rocky than I do anything else. But we are being manipulated. I really feel that. I really think, you know, people used to say, first of all, one of the things that started happening is people were going out and buying more guns and more ammunition in case all this shit started hitting the fan. You can't say, and by the way, shit better not hit the fan because we don't have toilet paper to clean the fan off. But there's still no toilet paper. I can't understand that. What the fuck is going on with the toilet paper? I don't understand that. I've got a roll right here. I have an allergy. I use the toilet paper to blow my nose, and what I do now is I use 2 sheets. I used to wear about 4 or 5 sheets because I got a big Italian nose. I needed a lot of sheets to blow my nose because I can sneeze 100 miles per hour. You know, there was a statistic that actually said that the average sneeze is like 100 miles an hour. Can you believe that? But I use 2 sheets right now whenever I blow my nose. And whenever I pick my nose, you notice here I got a little piece of the sheet picked off. That's because I picked my nose and I only use 1/5 of a sheet of toilet paper when I pick my nose to put the booger in. All right. So there you go. This is how you manipulate your toilet paper to make the most use. You have to budget your toilet paper. All right. You got to budget toilet paper. I should not drink hot tea. It's hot out. It's 103 degrees in Arizona today. Isn't that unbelievable? What's anything else? Oh, anything else? What do you got to say? I love your speeches, Dave. Safe Times with Dave Darren. Thanks being there. And like I said, there's a movie called Being There. I got it on my little device here. I got this crazy, wacky device. Let me show you this. I've got some of this antique equipment that's really freaking amazing. I got this thing called a Arco 705. I'll let you see some antique stuff that is still kick-ass to this day. You can see it here. You can stand it up and you can run TV programs on it and all. And you can run it, you move, but let me see, I'll pick something that's not going to get me thrown off because it's copywritten. The guy, I bought this used from a guy, and he must have been in a band called Black Swan. So you click on it, and watch, it's a little 7-inch TV.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event. You're giving woman night.
Isn't that crazy? I got this shit going on here, and this is kind of cool. You can plug it into your TV, and you can watch it on your big screen TV. You know, it's funny that some of the older stuff kicks ass, and kicks ass over the new shit that you got out there, which is less functioning than some of the old shit is. This is from like 2005, I think. The only problem is it's hard to get batteries for it now because the manufacturer, this Arcos company, has moved on to other products with less functionality than that one has. And they no longer make the battery for that old product. It's amazing what you can get out there. My stereo system is an old Pioneer, 100 watts per channel, and it kicks ass compared to any of the new shits that's going on. In fact, to be honest with you, I've been looking at this car called the Fisker, F-I-S-K-E-R, and it's a pretty cool car. And it's a hybrid car that runs on batteries for so many miles, and then you can convert it over to a gas engine in it. And it blows away Tesla. You know, you drive a Tesla in an electric car, which, by the way, Tesla cars look... How did I get into this? Tesla cars, to me, are ugly. They're plain. They're boring as shit. I don't like a Tesla. I would never buy a Tesla. It's too boring. Look at me. Look at the way I dress. Look at the way I act. They're going to drive a Tesla, that boring shit car that looks so bland. It looks like a sheet of paper to me. It's boring. I won't drive one. I won't buy one. So back to the topic. What was I talking about? The takeover of human, you know, for instance, now, no one's even driving. You go on the roads. Now, I noticed it's been picking up a little bit the past few weeks, past couple weeks. There's a little bit more people out there because people now are starting to think, is this shit real? Should I be abiding by this shit? Should I keep my isolation? Should I go out and enjoy more? Should I do more? And people are starting to do that. And thank God they are. There should be protests about this shit because I think we're being manipulated. If you look at the data of deaths, now of course media is going to defend themselves and they're going to say, you know what? If we didn't shut down the country, you know what? The amount of deaths would have been quadrupled. Better safe than sorry. That's what they're going to say. Better safe than sorry. And now we're unsure. I'm not even sure that the facts are accurate or the statistics are accurate because what I've heard, and I'll have to find the video, and I've seen multiple people present this topic, but I've heard that there's 2 categories on a death certificate about coronavirus, about COVID-19. One of them is, did you die of COVID-19? Was it an isolated, the guy had nothing. He had nothing at all. And he came in there with COVID-19. His heart was strong. His kidneys were strong. He wasn't a diabetic. He wasn't overweight. He wasn't a smoker. He had nothing at all wrong with him. Did he die of COVID-19? So another category there that, did he die and had COVID-19 in his body? Did he have COVID-19? Now, he might have had diabetes. He might have had heart problems. He might have had trouble with his lungs. He might have had asthma. And all of these things, yet COVID-19 was found in his system. So they mark it down. And when you do a statistic, if you know anything about databases, you can, if you're searching for COVID-19 and there's a category that says all of the other things, like diabetes, asthma, COVID-19 is also in that group of fields. Then you have another one that says just COVID-19. If you only search for COVID-19, it's going to be found in the isolated COVID-19 category, but it's also going to be found in the COVID-19 along with the other shit. I've heard that they're doing a mix and match, and we may not be getting the isolated COVID-19 as the only reason for that person's death. When supposedly now there's supposedly, and I haven't heard this poured out to any change in this, but from what I've heard is if you are compromised and you have COVID-19, that's when you're at risk. Now, do you think that the older folks aren't intelligent enough who come from my generation of still being somewhat intelligent and not being as massively manipulated by stupid liberals and being total pussies? Don't you think the older people are going to be logical enough to think, okay, I'm 61 years old, which I happen to be. I'm in great health. I work out. I keep in shape, physical shape. I have recently been busting my ass to the incredible amount because look at this muscle. This is what I've been doing now, bulking up so that I have more defenses about everything, about someone even trying to kick my ass. I'm more built up so I can defend myself against human nature and against viruses. I'm building myself up so I'm more stronger. At 61, I want to make sure my immunity system is strong and at peak performance so I can defend myself about the coronavirus. I'm doing all of this. Don't you think that the people that are 61 years old who are more susceptible because they've got asthma, got heart problems? My mother has a heart problem. My father had what do they call, stents put in his heart. And my mother had what was called I forget what it is, it's irrelevant what it is, but they both had some heart issues at the age of 80 and 87. Do you think they're exposing themselves? No, they're logical beings. They realize the risk that they got if they go out there with this shit and with the shit out there. So they're isolating themselves, and of course they should, and they are. Don't we think that people that are compromised know that they're at risk and don't invite their children over? And don't you think the children of those parents who are compromised would not go to, I'm not going to Philadelphia and visiting my parents right now, because I think if I go there, if I happen to have the virus and I'm asymptomatic and I haven't been tested, maybe I've got it, maybe I could contaminate my parents. I'm logical enough of a thinker to realize stay the fuck out of there. My parents are logical enough to think that they better not get the fuck out of their house in groups of people where they're going to expose themselves. Do you think that they are logical enough and the Americans are logical enough? They're not, because the young people are not logical enough, because they're selfish and self-centered and are willing to expose people. Because why? Because they're taught by liberals. They're taught by liberals, fuck it all. Basically, that's what it is. They're taught that they are the entitled people in today's society, in today's world, where they are the ones that are the most important people because they've all won trophies. They all came in 12th place, but they all can hold up that trophy to 12th place, won them a prize. They're still legitimate people. They're still the best people. They're tied for first place. They're in 12th place. You got a trophy. They're equal to that guy in first place. They're 12th place, but they're equal to that guy. And there's no need to even aspire to be in 11th or 10th place because they're still winners. That's what we got now. We got a bunch of people that are fucking losers who all think that they're winners. Let's see. Deviant Aristocrat says, I'm feeling positive and negative. You know, I'm always a positive and fucking negative guy. And then I come out in the middle. Because I'm positive, I'm negative, and together the two collide and smash into each other and I become neutral. Basically, that's what it is. Flowing out your third eye must be clogged. I just unclogged my drain today, by the way. That's what I'm doing, all right? Dave, is your bedroom feng shui? Feng shui. I don't even know what that means. It sounds tasty, though. Sometimes when my wife's in that horny mood, I go down between our legs and I have some feng shui. You're right. It's true. I have feng shui. Delicious. Delicious feng shui. I put a little what do I put down there? I put a little teriyaki sauce down there, too. It's delicious. Spices that right up. It's also a good lubricant. Terry says she loves cars. There we go. I think someone said that they hate DeLoreans. At one point, I was thinking about buying a DeLorean. We got 4 minutes till the top of the hour before we switch topics and talk about the senseless. So this is what I wanted to say about COVID-19. I'm not sure that we are not being fooled. I'm starting to really think that we are being fooled. And we're still shut down. Now, I heard Huntington Beach in California opened up today. And I heard a bunch of people went to Huntington Beach. And Huntington Beach actually has a dog beach part of that beach in California, in Southern California. Sort of close to Hermosa and Manhattan Beach. It's a little bit further. It's a little bit further. What would that be? Further south. It's past Seal Beach. I know these areas because we used to take Kim to Huntington Beach, and we used to take her to Long Beach, all the dog park areas. Heard Huntington Beach opened up today. That's what I heard. At least that's what my wife said. I'm not sure how accurate it is because you never know what is accurate anymore. You have to cross-reference. Even that. Is Huntington Beach open? You got to go to about 10 to 20 resources to find out if the shit's really open or if it's you gotta study everything. Isn't that a pain in the ass nowadays to study everything? Chris Peterman. Wow, how about that? Good to see you. The first time I'm seeing you here. Are you crisp? You know, I got to tell you something. It's cold in Philadelphia. Little joke here. If you're in a horny mood and you whack off outside when it's cold, you whack off and you have a Krispy Kreme. You should do a commercial sponsored by Dave Darren for Krispy Kreme donuts, where you got a guy outside in frigid 20-degree temperatures. He's looking at adult magazine, the best porn he's ever seen. He's too horny. He's isolated. He thinks he's isolated. No one's ever going to see him. He's got the magazine. He's whacking off. And then you have a commercial that says Krispy Kreme, and the guy splooges. Krispy Kreme all over the floor. All right? Why are you being so hostile? That's what Terry says. Why? Chris asks, Terry, why are you being so hostile? Because she thinks I'm a creep. And actually, it's funny. I put a show out there specifically for Terry. And we're going to do a show in the year 2022. It's going to be February 15, 2022. It's going to be at 5:22 p.m. That will be Pacific time, not specific time. So that Terry now has 2 years to put on her calendar and get the time and date accurate. So again, Terry, don't forget the show featuring you is going to be in the year 2022, February 15th at 5:22 p.m. Pacific time. Make sure you're there. Put it on your calendar right now so you have the time. So every day from now until the year 2022, Terry is going to ask me, what time is the show? Okay, so now let's see. It's 6:59 p.m. Let's do my countdown to the show. I'm going to repeat that, and then we're going to flip the topic to the senseless. Here we go, guys.
Gee, it's great to be here at the disco. Let me tell you what happened to me the other day. At the Piggly, standing in line, feeling nervous, waiting my time. Then a large can fell from my coat, so I shouted before they took note. Who threw that ham at me? Who threw that ham at me? Hey, please, did anyone see? Who threw that ham at me?
I want to go home now, you idiots.
Okay, disco garbage can. Yeah, flip your lid. Disco garbage can. Flip your lid. Yeah, get down. Alright. Twirl. Everyone twirl. So I turned and walked away.
Seems far below these sinful means.
Hey, welcome back to the show. Did everyone join? You know, I'm having a hard time working the computer because I've connected my original Mac mouse. And it's one of these that's got one button. And it's funny, when I've got one button on my mouse, and you know, I'm used to 3 buttons. My wife's got 3 buttons that I use on my wife. So it's a pain in the ass having a one-button mouse. I don't like it. The only reason I have this is because my other mouse was a battery operator one. You know, it's the one that transmits the signal. You got a little receiver in the back. You got the mouse. It's got batteries in it. My wife pulled the batteries out for her vibrator. So now I'm stuck with using the plugged-in mouse. I don't like it at all. It's a pain in the ass. I need the vibrator. But I don't want my wife to give me the vibrator batteries back after using the vibrator. I don't want those batteries back. Don't give them back to me because I have no idea what kind of juice is on those batteries, all right? So I don't need the batteries back, so I guess I got to go buy more AA batteries, and there we go. So I got to buy more batteries. Let's say hello to Lamppost, who said this is the most degenerate show I've ever seen. This Tonight Show is not a degenerated show. You think this is bad? Tonight's show is rated PG. PG-13. It's PG, you know, and by the way, what PG in my book means is, you ever go to a Thai restaurant and everything that is pronounced with the F is spelled with a PH? So, in other words, tonight's show, PG-13, is PG stands for fucking gross. That's what the PH stands for. I spell the word fuck P-H-U-C-K. So it is a PG show tonight, all right? So there we go. Mellow out, get used to the vibe of this show, all right? Talk about the senseless, all right? That's what we're going to talk about right now. Did I get some kind of strange ding-a-ling on my phone here? All right, well, let's talk about the senseless. So I got this senseless thing, and you know, you get bugged by these guys repeatedly. You get bugged by the senseless or the census. And I'll play a little commercial I did about it later on. But, you know, you got to think about it. You get this, and you know what? All the information that they want is available for them to get from the resources that we've all participated in, either voluntarily or being manipulated to give the data that they've got. Are they so friggin' lazy or so friggin' incompetent? I guess the answer to both of them is yes, they are lazy and they're incompetent. That's why they're in government. And they can't get this data. You know, if they put together a system so that they can extract all of this data, so that they can pull it every 10 years. You know what? If they put together the technological approach to gathering this data from all the resources they've got a collection of this data on, they'd be able to run this a lot sooner than every 10 years. Be able to run it on a friggin' daily basis to figure out what the census is. Instead of being every 10 years, they could run it every year and get the data that they've got. Again, I'm getting a call right now. Can we wait until I talk about the topic? The census, which I call the senseless. Let's go through some of the questions here, all right? And I forget to put my backlighting on during the commercial break, but forget it. Let me put on my glasses here, my old age 61-year-old glasses, so I can read some of the questions on the senseless, all right? And like I said, all of this data is available to the government, and now they're spending time, energy, money to get data from me. So here's question number 1. How many people are living or staying in this house, apartment, or mobile home on April 1st, 2020? Now, again, I said wait on the phone calls. So, first of all, they mailed this to my address. They mailed it to my address. They mailed it. So, based upon mailing it, aren't there ways to get a determination on if this is a house, an apartment, a mobile home, a townhouse, a condominium? They got that data. So why ask it? Why put it in the question? They know I've got a house. Why ask it? Why ask? And then they put here, I'll read it again. How many people are living or staying? Now, first of all, I'm Italian. There may be some dead people down in the body in the basement of this house. So well, first of all, they should put, when you're Italian, they should put how many people are living or buried in the basement of your house. They should put that and clarify. They got to be more clear with this shit, all right? I'm half Italian, all right? Be careful of the way you phrase questions because now, I'm glad I didn't ask about my Cadillac because I've got a couple bodies in the back of my Cadillac. So I'm glad I didn't ask about that. And maybe that's question number 11, I don't know. How many people are living or staying in this house, apartment, or mobile home on April 1st, 2020? Now, you know the strange thing about that is they ask a specific date, April 1st, 2020. Suppose now, coronavirus, right? they've lost their businesses. They've lost their employment. Maybe they lost their homes. If you think about the housing bubble that burst in what? 2007, houses were foreclosed. What did they do? They had to move in with relatives or be homeless, right? Suppose that person that's now homeless, who lost their job, lost their employment, lost their small business, suppose they lost their home, and now they got to move in with their children or someone else. And they move in on April 2nd. This question says, how many people live in your home April 1st? So I might put, right now, I might put 2. If I had suppose my parents had the coronavirus and they sold their house because they thought, well, this is our last years of living. We want to live with our son and his wife. So they move into my house on April 2nd. So I read this question April 1st, I'd have to put 2 people. If it said April 2nd, I'd put 4 people. So how accurate is this? Now suppose this happened. Well, let me read the next question, all right? Let me read the next. So first of all, they know if I'm in a house, a condominium, they know that information is out there. They've got that information. Trust me, they got my address. They mailed it to me. They know if it's a house, condominium, apartment. They know that. They're asking it. And they're asking how many people are there on one day of the year. How many days of the year are there? There's 365 days of the year. And they're asking about my population of my home on one day. Isn't that stupid? Isn't that stupid? Should phrase it, how many people lived in your home during the year 2020 or during the year 2019 and 2020. They asked one day. You could have picked up a hooker and she could have stayed with me on March 31st, and she could have stayed, maybe she's a homeless hooker, right? And she's staying in my house. I had a good time with her on the 31st of March. I let her stay over. I gave her the keys to the house. I gave her the key to the car. She's on the internet trying to pick up other dates, other Johns. And she's staying there. She's there March 31st, April 1st, and April 2nd. So now I guess I have to put her down, right? I have to say that there's me, my wife, and a hooker that's living with us. And maybe a gigolo for my wife so she doesn't have to use her vibrator. So we got 4 people staying in the house. My wife, myself, gigolo, and a hooker. And they're all there as of April 1st. Now supposing this happens, suppose there was no gigolo, but there's just a hooker there, right? Suppose March 31st she's there. And it's asking me about April 1st. So March 31st she's there. April 1st she was on the internet the night before, found another John to go to. And April 1st she wasn't in my house. She stayed at that John's house. She screwed him. She stayed at his house on April 1st. April 2nd she comes back to me because I went to the ATM, took out some money, and I could pay her for another night of April 2nd. So now March 31st she wasn't in my house. Or she was in my house. March 31st she was in my house. She was a resident because she's homeless. Her home that night was with me because she was good. She was cute, sexy, and we had fun that night. March 31st, she's in my house. April 1st, she found another guy to be with. She left my house at 11:59. 12 o'clock, she was no longer in my house at midnight. She didn't come back until 12:01 in the morning the day after. So for April 1st, she wasn't in my house. I'd have to put down 2. She comes back on April 2nd. There's 3 people now in the house. But it asked me about April 1st. Brain dead people. You know, this is a little bit of comedy, outrageous bullshit that I decided to talk about. You know what? Free it. I'm going to go with this outrageous bullshit. But they put one day of the year down in this senseless, which makes it totally senseless. Put down the whole year or put the last 2 years. How many people lived in your home through 2019 to 2020 as of today? Question number 2. Were there any additional people staying on here on April 1st, 2020? Again, with the 1 dates that you did not include. People staying here temporarily. Non-relatives such as roommates and live-in babysitters. If the babysitter was a good hooker, maybe she'd stay for the whole day. And how much of that day in April 1st do you count as an entire day? Is it a 12-hour day? Is it a 24-hour day? Is it an 8-hour day? Can I call up these people and make a determination on what constitutes a full day of April 1st? People are brain dead. Of course, I'm reading into it to make it outrageously ridiculous. But the whole thing is outrageously ridiculous. Next question. Is this home, apartment, or mobile home? And then I ask the question, is it rented? Well, you know what? If you get online, in any of the online government services where you can look at your title of your home, you pay your property taxes online. You know what? A lot of people don't know this, and I didn't know about it until probably about 20 years ago, or 18 or 15 years ago. If you get online on the government agency, your local government agency, where your house is part of that county, you get on there, you can see your taxes, you can actually see your title. You can not only see your title, you can see the signature of yourself and your wife or your significant other. You can actually see the signature on the title, which is shocking. Isn't that a way of identity theft? Not only do they see where you live, they can get your signature off of your title documents. They can figure out how to write just like you, or they can pull it using software and just put it like a stamp right on any document. They've got your legitimate signature that you are the one that actually wrote it to match precisely and do an identity theft on you. This data is out there, by the way. You go, if you don't believe me, go to your local government, your local county website, where all of your property taxes are being paid into, whether you pay them on your own or they're escrowed in if you pay a mortgage. You can go in there, see your title, see the signature on that title document or that deed. You can see your physical signature. Isn't that a violation of privacy? No, it's a public record. It's a public record that includes your signature? What the fuck is that? It includes your signature. I don't want my signature out there. Yet it's out there. I went to look, and my signature sure as hell is out there. Damn it, I don't like that. So it says here, is this house a part? Then it asks what my telephone number is. You know what? I feel like filling this out, which I'm not going to do. I feel like filling this out, putting my phone number, and then changing my phone number tomorrow. I feel like doing that. Fuck them. I feel like putting out a bogus phone. You cannot put lies on this. If you put lies on this senseless, it's a potential up to $500 fine. If you don't fill it out at all, it's a fine of up to $100. I got it online and I read that. It's a fine up to, you know what? I don't feel like filling this out. I don't feel like giving the government something that they already have access to, but they're too friggin' lazy and too incompetent to gather on their own. So they gotta contact me and 350 million people. They gotta bug 350 million people to gather this data multiple times, because most people don't fill it out the first time. They don't fill it out the second time. They don't fill it out a third time. Someone messaged me on one of my chat things and said that they got this thing from the government 11 times. And by the way, it says on it, your response is required by law. And what I do is I use this, I open this up like this, so I can use it to put my cat's litter box shit in it. That's why I gotta plug the hole here, otherwise the shit's gonna fall out. So I gotta plug this so that I can put the cat shit inside this senseless bag here, which says your response is required by law, otherwise I potentially might have to pay a $100 fine. But fuck it, I'm gonna pay the $100 fine. I'm not gonna give them something that they are too incapable, incompetent, and too fucking lazy to pull from all their resources. They can figure out if this is a house, an apartment. They can figure that out. They can figure out how many people lived here over the course of 2019 and 2020 because of our taxes. If my parents were living with me and they weren't paying rent, you know what? I would put them down as a dependent. It would be on my IRS taxes. If someone was living here that I brought in, suppose I'm adopting them. I adopted a child. You know what? They're going to be on my IRS taxes as a dependent. You know what? These records are out there, guys. These records are out there. If I brought in a homeless person and I wanted to make them a dependent because I got to feed them, I got to give them a plate, they're going to be on my tax things as a dependent, all right? This stuff is out there. This stuff is out there for them. So friggin' lazy not to pull it. Let's see. I'm going to keep reading here. What is the next one? Phone number. So I don't want to give them my phone number. I don't want to give them my phone number. I don't want them to call me on the phone. Next question. Please provide information for each person living there. So then I got to go and I got to file each person living there. I got to put my name, my wife's name, and then any dependents. Suppose I'm a Mormon. I got 6, 7 kids living here. There's not enough room in this paper document to put enough people if you're Mormon. There's not enough. There's only how many? Person number 3, person number 5, person number 6, person number 7. Oh, they have up to 10. So they did account for the Mormon community of 10 people, two parents, 8 children. But some of them have multiple wives. You're not accounting for that. There may be 10 kids with 7 wives. It's not accurate. It's not enough people here. Does this person usually live or stay somewhere else? Do they stay somewhere else? Yes, I picked up a hooker. That hooker was staying with me April 1st. But periodically, I pimp out that hooker. And probably about half the time of the year, she's not living with me. Where's the space for that? Where's the place that says hooker? I don't see a checkbox here where I could say hooker that I pimp out and she stays with me half the year. I don't see one for that. It's not a complete document. It's not a complete document. I don't have the ability to put my hookers on here. How is this person related to person number 1? Services rendered, oral sex, anal sex periodically. I don't see that on here. I do see the word sex here. Opposite sex, husband, wife, spouse. Same sex. They've got that same sex husband, wife, spouse. Same sex unmarried partner. Let's see. Foster child. They've got that brother. They've got all these categories here. Is this person's sex male, female? Look at this. Now they do not put here transgender. They don't put the LBTQM, XYZ. They don't put male, female. It's inaccurate. Isn't that illegal not to represent every single potential sexual sex orientation? Isn't this illegal? Aren't they mandated to put male, female, transgender? Aren't they responsible to do that? With today's liberal government and liberal way of living and liberal mandates, how could they possibly only have male, female here? How could they do that? It's inaccurate. What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to put a little square here and put transgendered? Or another square putting queer, because that's the word we're supposed to use now is queer? I don't see accuracy here. I see only 2 boxes. There should be 7 boxes here, guys. What's the person's age? Now, you know when I pick up a hooker, they don't give me their accurate age because I may pick up a 28-year-old hooker and she wants to pretend she's 22. So how do I really know how old she is when she's staying here April 1st? I gave her room and board and access to my house, access to my pants so she can go in there and play with my very large projectile in my pants. So she's there April 1st. What am I supposed to do? Ask for a driver's license when I'm picking up a hooker? I have no idea how old she is. She's probably 28. She's lying to me. She's telling me she's 22. If I fill this out with the age of 22 and they prove it, that hooker's 28, am I going to have to pay a $500 fine because I filled it out inaccurately? Damn. What else do we got here? Let's keep reading here. By the way, someone actually told me that this is my, there's a Jeff, I'm not going to give you his last name. He's told me that this is my contribution to America, to fill out this census. It's being a good American to fill out this census. You know what? I'm a pretty good American. I stand up during the national anthem. I'm not on my knees unless my wife's in front of me. Then I'm on my knees. But during the national anthem, when I'm standing up. My hand is on my heart. I'm actually singing the anthem. And I'm singing so you can hear me. People around me hear me with my Neil Diamond voice. They hear me singing. They actually hear me. They don't see lip motion. They don't say lip motion. My wife sees me at lip motion when I'm on my knees in front of her. She feels the lip motion. But when I'm singing the national anthem, you don't only see lip motion. You actually hear me singing the words of the song, which I actually know the words of the song, guys. And I'm not on my knees, dishonoring the flag and the Americans have given their lives. I'm a pretty good American that way. Don't need to be American to fill out this stupid bullshit that they got access to. What else? Here's another one. Now, when you fill out applications, I've got people that work for me. When I put out the application for the people to apply for jobs with my company, I can ask them, and I do ask them. I ask the standard, are you white, Hispanic? What's the other box in there? I choose not to answer the question, right? I choose. Now, here we got question number 6. Is this person of Hispanic, Latino, or Spanish origin? No, not of Hispanic, Latino, or Spanish origin. Yes, Mexican AM, which is an abbreviation for Mexican American. Chicano. I didn't even think we're allowed to call people Chicano. Isn't that racist? Yes, Puerto Rican. Yes, Cuban. Yes, another Hispanic, Latino, or Spanish origin. So, well, you got one here for they're giving you the mishmash of everything else. Salvatorian, Dominican, Colombian, Guatemalan, the whole realm. But they don't have anything here that says, I choose not to answer. You know what? Are we now mandated? We're not mandated by law to fill out on an application. I'm not even mandated. I'm not even able to say I hire someone and they fill out on their application that they choose not to be identified as Hispanic or white. They choose not to have that identification. They come into work for me. Am I able to bring them in on day one and say, well, you didn't fill out the box? Oh, are you Hispanic? Are you a Caucasian? Are you Mexican? What are I can't ask that question. If I do, I can ask that question, but then my ass can be drawn into court for mandating that they answer the question. Yet this document here mandates that you answer the friggin' question. I got to answer it here, but I'm prohibited to answer it, to ask that question in my employment of my employees. And if I dare ask that question, my ass is in court. Yet here, you have to answer the question. If you don't answer it, you have to pay a $500 fine because I refused to answer the question. Or I have to pay up to a $100 fine because I didn't answer it fully. I don't know. And of course you don't know because it's a government product. You have no fucking idea because it's a government product. Then here, what is this person's race? Then they got here white. You can't see it, but they got here white. And then print for examples. Then they give you examples. German, Irish, English, Italian, Lebanese, Egyptian, etc. So you gotta check the box for white. Then you gotta write what you are. Then you got one here, black or African American. Print for example, African American, Jamaican, Haitian, Nigerian, Ethiopian, Somalia, Assam, Olai. I never knew Somali. I never knew how to pronounce that. So you gotta check that, or you gotta check out American Indian or Alaskan Native. Then you got Chinese, Filipino, Asian Indian, other Asian, for example, Pakistani. Then you got the examples: Vietnamese, Korean, Japanese, Native Hawaiian, Samoan. Oh my God, Chamorro, whatever that. Other Pacific Islander, some other race. So it says some other race. But there's nothing that says I refuse to answer this question. It's I don't want to answer it. I feel like I don't want to identify myself. I'm offended by having to identify myself. I'm offended by the mandate to fill this out and identify myself. When I go for an employment, I don't have to answer this question. I got to answer it to the senseless. Let's play the senseless commercial. I want to come back in a couple minutes. Let's play the senseless commercial. I've got one here somewhere. What did I do with it? Here we go. The senseless.
Yes, it's that time again. Time to do your civic duty and be real U.S. citizens. Do you know what time it is? Yes, it's time to fill out your senseless. Be one of the so far half of the U.S. people who have actually filled out the senseless. It's only 10 short senseless questions. Question number 1. How many senseless times did we bug you to fill out the senseless? A, 1 to 10. B, 10 to 100. C, 100 to 1,000. D. Question number 2. How many senseless children live in your household? A, none. B, 1. C, 2 to 3. D. Come on, I'm a Mormon. Question number 3. How senseless do you find the Dave Darren Show? A, the show rocks. B, awesome dude. C, I lost my virginity to the Dave Darren Show. D, I intend to lose my virginity to Dave Darren. Vote today. Your senseless vote will really count.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Defense and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the Dave Darren Show. So we have some comments here. Monet's Way, or is that pronounced Monet's Way? I'm not quite sure. Filled out the senseless. It was a breach. And I'm not talking about how easy or complicated it is to fill out. I'm sure it's very easy if you get online and fill it out instead of filling out this thing with paper and pen and pencil and all that bullshit. You got to fill it out if you do it online. I'm sure it's extremely simple. I'm not talking about how easy it is. I'm talking about how stupid it is to require us to do this when the data is out there. All of this data is out there. All of this data is available to them to fish out and get on their own. And then once they do it once with the automated process, they can pull into that every year, every month, if they want to get this data on a monthly basis, on a yearly basis, instead of every 10 years. Put it together, have it work, have it pull from the places where they pull this data, the local government tax base for homes, and pull out if it's a home, if it's a townhouse, and figure out how many people live in that home by the IRS tax documents that you fill out. There's an availability to get all of this information that they're too friggin' lazy to pull out on their own, so they're delivering this agenda to 358 million people live in the country and having to send it out to them a boatload of times and having people knock on your door. This year I said they're not going to knock on doors because of the coronavirus. But it is a complete friggin' waste of time to send this out. Unbelievable. See, what? Too many questions. Too many questions with mine. I don't know. Like I said, there were 10 questions, but then there's the questions for each and every person. Now, I didn't read it because I have no intention of filling it out, to realize that if you put 2 people down that live with you, you have to put down person number 1 is Dave Darren, person number 2 is my wife. Do I have to do that? I feel like putting my dog and 2 cats on this friggin' form because they're dependents. And then I got one dog, it's a Brazilian dog. I don't see, was there a Brazilian answer on this? I want to put Brazilian feline or Brazilian canine. I feel like adding boxes here. Who lives with me? Brazilian canine. And you know, he's a male, but sometimes he does stuff to his own penis. So I don't know if he's a gay or queer. I want to put here a little box that says queer Brazilian canine. It's inaccurate. It's incomplete. I want to complete it and send it to them. Let's see. I just did it. Oh, so we got Monet's Way. It was annoying. So as a result, this person filled it out because they're sick and tired. You know, I think that's what they intend to do. They want to make you sick and tired of filling it. You know, there's people out there that actually take all of this paperwork and they clump it all together with a machine that they got to make logs so that when winter comes along, they can take all of their junk mail and light it on fire in the fireplace and heat their home based upon all the kinds of bullshit you get sent to your house, which includes the Census, which I said I want to use this Census. I'm gonna seal up the hole here that has the address on it. Oh, here's another. Oh, they send me an envelope. No postage necessary. So you can actually put this in here, no postage necessary, and send it to them. So not only are so they're using the post office and the cost of using the post office for us to send it back. But you do have this more purposeful and meaningful envelope here that this came in, which I can use to put my cat's duty in here, seal up the hole so it doesn't leak out. I wonder if I should use this envelope and put my cat's duty in it. I'd make the news, wouldn't I? If I put this envelope in the mail with a postage stamp and send a sample of my send a stool sample as my response to the Census. I should send a stool sample in my response to the Census 2020. Just send them a stool sample. And then when they say, how dare you send it, I can say, oh, I made a mistake. I was taking my test to make sure that my colon is colon cancer free. I mixed it up. I sent the colon cancer guys my Census. And I sent you guys my stool sample by mistake. Pardon me. Excuse me. I know they used to send people to your door, and supposedly this year, if you saw, I saw, you know, I see all this stuff for employment and stuff like that since I have my own business. I saw that they were going to, initially, they were hiring people to come door to door with the Avon lady. Remember the Avon lady? They still sell Avon with the Avon lady. So they got the Avon lady, behind them they got the Mormons, behind them they got the people wanting to cut your bushes and your shrubs, and then behind them they got the senseless people. You got a whole line and an entourage of people now. It's your front door. They were hiring people to go in and get your senseless. I don't even call it the census. The senseless. They were going to come to your door, and now with the coronavirus, supposedly this year they're not going to do it. Now, are they going to do it beginning when they take the lockdown out? Are they going to start sending them then, maybe in June or July? What are they going to do? What are they going to do? And no one answers the door. I don't answer the door either. Or, you know, I got these devices now. Everyone now can get a device so that they can see who's on their front door, no matter where they are. You can be in Barrow, Alaska, and answer your front door from Barrow, Alaska if you're in 102 degrees Phoenix, Arizona, and you're in 5-degree Barrow, Alaska, or minus 45 degrees in the winter in Barrow, Alaska. You can answer your front door from wherever you are in the entire world. People aren't going to answer the senseless people at your door. And if you do answer, I wonder if they're going to start reading the questions so that, you know, you answer. You're in the front door on the speaker. And are they going to start with the dialogue, answering the questions, asking the questions? I have no idea. So you know what? I think I talked for an hour tonight. From 6:30, I started the program early. And you know what? We got some people here chatting. Let me see if I'll read some of the questions. And now's your chance to call in if you feel like calling in. My wife went out to take her walk. I see that. See, we got some Facebook comments from people that don't have the ability to get on YouTube because they don't want to get YouTube IDs. Let's see. I'm not going to tell you who said this, but I'm going to read the commentary. And it's on my Facebook page. And this is about the liberal agenda of the coronavirus. I'm going to read it. I didn't pre-read it, so this is not censored in any way. I'm going to read it word for word of what this person says. I feel that if we were a liberal takeover, the virus would not be worldwide. That is interesting. Except, are we sure that the world doesn't want to become a worldwide base of liberal government takeovers from each and every one of those countries? We do have, of course, communist countries. We have countries that are more liberal and countries that are less liberal. Is there a worldwide government perspective, a one world new order for the entire world to become more liberal or totally liberal? So this individual says, I feel like if this were, I'm reading this, so while I'm reading it, let me read it, and I'm going to deny that call because I'm reading something and I can't in parallel answer the call when I'm reading it on my cell phone. I feel like if this were a liberal takeover, the virus would not be worldwide. I believe it is a lot bigger than this. Do I actually believe that this has been planned? Yes. Again, I got to hang up on that caller. The world economy is being severely affected. Yes, it is. I agree with that. There is weirdness with the New York governor, as well as the California governor, as well as the mayor, the incompetent mayor of New York City. Let me throw that in there. Do I think I have to hang up on this person 3 times? Do I think it will result in a civil war? And there's a question mark there to answer my question. This may be a possibility. If you folks feel there is more to this than meets the eye, at least to people who use their brains and are not easily programmed, I hope you, whatever you are, will call in tonight to tonight's show to tell us about what you think about this. So yeah, let's revert back to the coronavirus topic since we got a conversation on this, all right? And I'd like to get some different callers for a change tonight. Can I really ask for you guys to call in? We got some new people. I've never seen Mono's Way. I've never seen Chris Peterman. Why not call up 480-236-2111 so I don't get the same voices, the same discussions? Let's have something a little bit different. Can we do that? Is it at all possible to get somebody different? It's like, you see me all the time because I happen to be the host of this stupid show. You see me all the time. You must be pretty bored of seeing my face. And we must be pretty bored of hearing the same people all of the time talking on the show. And granted, I appreciate them calling to contribute. But how about some brand new people calling the show? Moni's Way, call in. 480-236-2111. Talk about the topics I talked about tonight. The coronavirus. Are we going to have a civil war? Do you believe this is total bullshit? The senseless. This is a pain in the ass. Have you filled it out? Are you going to fill it out? Did you throw it away? Did you use it as a shit bag for your dog or your cat? Tell me about it. Give me a different topic. If you don't want to talk about anything I'm talking about because you think I'm a boring as fuck host and you think my topics are boring, call in and give me your topic, all right? How about you guys have the balls to call up this show? I get pissed off a lot and I explode a lot because I'm sick and tired of doing a show for 20 people, for 21 people because people don't share the show. And to be honest, I don't have time to share the show either because when I don't see other people sharing this show, I figure, fuck it, I'm not going to do it either. If you guys want to build an audience and enjoy each other and get more diverse perspectives out there, instead of the 20 people with the same perspectives and the same callers, how about we open it up and start sharing the show? When you share it, I'm going to share it. And it'll build up and we'll have an audience that's going to be interesting, fascinating, diverse, experimental, and interesting of topics because you guys have more topics on your mind than my little compressed focused mind has, all right? How about you guys start contributing to this show, all right? Especially the brand new people. Now, the brand new people I'm seeing tonight, first time Monet's Way, and now we got Lasha, and we got other people here, Chris Peterman. Every time I see you, I think of Crispin Clover. And you got, and who says disgusting. I am disgusting. This is the way I am. I'm not meant for terrestrial radio. I'll never be on terrestrial radio again. I was on 4 terrestrial stations, and I was fired from each one of those 4 stations because of who I am. Because I don't like to be censored. I like my topics to be extreme. I had actually commercials run on my show. I'll tell you one commercial I had on my show. And this is, I got fired for this. The guy came in, was doing a live spot. You see people doing, they do TV shows. They do, Howard Stern had a TV show, and he's now a douchebag because of what he said about, now, I'm not going to get on him, but you got Stern out there. He was doing live Snapple commercials, right? And he had the models coming in almost nude. He was on a New York TV show. I thought it was a very funny show. I wasn't offended at all. I appreciated seeing the almost nude chicks on there with the Snapple. So this is what I had. I had a guy come on who had this spray you spray on your license plate, and it deflects the photo radar camera. So the photo radar camera, which flashes on your license plate to take a picture of your license and take a front picture of who's driving the vehicle. So they match the license plate number, driver's license number with the person driving the vehicle, and they'll mail you a ticket. If they don't have the full license plate number, then they can't send you the ticket. So this guy, now I didn't validate the product. I didn't do that to see if it really works. He says you spray this on your license plate and it reflects the camera's ability to see the plate number, so you won't get a ticket. So he was a sponsor for my show. So he came in. I thought, you know what? I'm going to do comedy. I'm going to do outrageous, offensive comedy and see if the guy can work with me on this. I didn't tell him what kind of show I was doing. Should have listened to see how irrelevant and how irrelevant actually is true. It's not a slip of the tongue. How irrelevant and irresponsible my show is. He came in with his photo radar spray in a spray can, right? Like similar to the Lysol can, which you can never buy anymore because it's sold out at department stores. You can't buy Lysol anymore, right? So how are you going to inject yourself with Lysol when you can't even get it? He came in with his product. He said, "This is a great product because I am becoming a much more popular host on this terrestrial radio station. I've got like the #1 show on this station. So now I've got paparazzi following me around. I've got the paparazzi following me to the beaches. They're trying to snap pictures of me anywhere at all, to see if my hair's right, to see who I'm with. So I'm at the beach. I happen to go to the beach, and my wife likes to suntan topless. So I'm at the topless beaches. I got the paparazzi there. And they're taking pictures of my wife's breast. So I said, this is a great thing because I said, you know what? I know that this works better because he was telling me it works. It only really worked on flat license plates. There's some license plates where they're embossed. Embossed? How do you say that word? The letters are in like 3D. You know what I mean, right? They're not flat. The letters are raised on the license plate. Doesn't work that well on them. It works better on the flat license plate. And I used to live in Delaware where they had flat license plates. They also have a big flat head in Delaware. Joe Biden, who's a big flat head with no brain in it, but they had flat license plates. So I said, you know what? I said, this is a great product because my wife is Asian. She's Japanese. She has a very flat breast. And you got the paparazzi taking pictures of myself and my wife's flat breast. I said, I'm going to use this product on my wife's breast so that when they paparazzi take a picture of my wife, they will not see the flat breast because it'll reflect the camera image. So I said on my live feed of this sponsor who was there in the studio, so this is a great product. I'm going to spray it on my wife's breast so that the paparazzi will not be able to take the exposure of my wife's breast and nipples of that Asian chest on the paparazzi picture. He walks out, I get a warning from the station, right? And at that point I figured, you know what, you guys aren't getting my gig, you aren't understanding my gig, you're not understanding my repertoire here of trying to capture a young, vibrant audience who likes outrageous humor. I said, you know what, I'm going to carry it to the next level. I kept going on with this shit week after week. I think it was 1 month and I was canned from that station. To the degree that they took my access badge away from me and they escorted me out of the building. That's how much they wanted me out of there. So 4 stations I was on in Phoenix, fired by every one of them because you know what? I don't want to be manipulated. I don't want to be censored. I want to do what I want to do. And that means I take the risk of getting fired from insignificant terrestrial radio anyway. So that's what I got. Your wife's flat breast. Well, my wife's Asian. Do you see any C and D cup breasts on Asians who haven't had breast augmentation? I used to date a girl from the Philippines when I was living in Las Vegas. She was bugging me all the time to get her breast implants. And why would I do that? So she could turn into a hooker? She wanted me to take her to strip clubs. And take her to strip clubs for what purpose? To be a spectator initially because her breasts are too flat. Then I pay to have her breast enlarged so that she can move from spectator to be on stage on the poles, pole dancing, and dancing on other guys' poles and not my pole. So this is what I gotta say, guys. This is why people hate my show, because I'm outrageous. Big radio men love Asian wives. Is that true? I don't think that's true. Although Art Bell, I used to do a show of paranormal. Art Bell was married. He married an Asian girl. I forget. Phone call from New Jersey. Let's answer this. Dave Darren, on the Dave Darren Show, you are in New Jersey. You're probably locked down, stuck in your house, listening to, or you're watching any porn or masturbating any magazines. Who's calling in? Hello? Hello? Are you there?
Hello?
Yeah, this is Dave Darren. What's going on?
Hello?
Yep, I am here. Can you hear me?
Yes, hi.
Hi. No, I'm not high. Later on, after the show, I get high. But right now...
No, this is Monet's Way.
Oh, how are you? Good. Oh, Monet. I did pronounce it correct. Now, I thought if it was Monet, it would be M-O-N-E-Y. But it's a T.
No, Monet like the painting.
Wow,
artist.
By the way, that is a very sexy name, and you have a very sexy voice, by the way. I appreciate you calling, by the way. What did you want to talk about? Do you hate me, by the way? Do you dislike me already based upon me saying how sexy you sound?
No.
Oh, you don't?
No, I do not.
Okay, cool. So what's your topic? What do you want to talk about?
Well, I don't know. Richard Groiper.
Oh, Richard. Okay.
He told me to tell you he can eat his ass.
Oh, well, I don't think it'd be too tasty because I think he's got constant diarrhea. I don't think I'd want to do that even if I wanted to eat an ass. I think I'd find a better ass than Richard Groiper's, which I call Dick Groin Pain, by the way.
A big part of your segment was about shit and ass.
A big part of my segment, I'll have to play it back. I didn't think I talked a lot about ass tonight, did I? I talked a lot about ass. I did. Okay. Well, how dare me? How dare me talk a lot about ass? How dare me?
And then you talked about women with implants. All women with implants are hookers. Come on.
Yeah. Well, by the way, do you have implants? Are your breasts augmented?
No. Mine are naturally.
Are they the same size? Now, are they the same size? Is one size like a? Is there any women that have like a B cup on one side and a C cup on the other, or anything like that?
That would be freak nature.
No, that would not be. That would be great.
There is some size differential, but not that noticeable.
You know, I would love to meet a girl that had an A cup on one side and a D cup on the other side. That way I could put them on one side and suck on a smaller breast, and I could flip them over to the other side and get a D cup.
One side is like a cup holder.
Yeah, it'd be like
having a beer there.
Yeah, it'd be like having two different women, right? You got an A cup and you got a D cup. It'd be great. It'd be the best woman, right? Yeah. So
well, look, I'll let you go.
Why? You were starting to get. She hung up, or he hung up. I wasn't sure what that was. All right, so let's see. Did she say Richard Groiper? She said Dick Groinpain. Oh, by the way, let's get his name correct. It is Dick Groinpain. All right, let's get the name correct. I think he's. You know, I blocked him because he's a useless piece of crap. And I decided, you know what? Why deal with this guy? I used to open this show up to hecklers and trolls and all that, and I had fun with it. By the way, just like right now, I had fun with Monet. I thought it was fun. I wish that person would have stayed on the line longer. Why hang up? We're starting to get into a dialogue. We're starting to get into ass eating. We're starting to get into the important things in life, and we got to hang up after a certain amount of dialogue. Stay on longer, all right? So I used to love having trolls and hecklers on the show, which included Dick Groinpain, Richard Groiper. I let him on the show. I even tried to set him up with Liz. Remember, we had the dating line between Liz and Richard. Liz liked Richard. She was interested in meeting and being with Richard. We had no idea Richard was married, and I don't know why anyone married that piece of crap anyway, but supposedly he's married. And we set him up, and then all of a sudden he's lame on the phone. He doesn't even know how to have a dialogue to interest the people listening to the show. He was boring. I had to actually make the show as interesting as I could with a boring guy on the other end of the conversation. Liz was fantastic. She was dripping wet. She was dripping wet. She was moist. Her breasts were. It was like when you see the what do they call it? You see the ultraviolet or ultra whatever it is, which you see the blood circulating in the body. If we did that on her body, Liz was hot and red in the right areas because she was interested in Richard. She was exciting. Fun conversation. Richard was like, he probably needed Viagra because he was so limp during that entire conversation that I tried to get him laid. Then we find out all of a sudden, oh, the guy's married. He's pussy whipped because he can't say anything to be entertaining on the show. So his mouth is full of bullshit because he couldn't have an entertainment show and he's got his own radio show. And supposedly he's got, last time I listened to it, which is, I found that he was better at it now. You know why? Because I woke his ass up. I got him to be able to put a sentence together and keep, when you do a show like this, you got to be quick. You got to be witty. You got to just roll with the flow. You make a lot of mistakes. Fuck it if I make mistakes. You just got to be continuous. You got to have no stop in your dialogue. Otherwise, it's dead air and you turn people off. I'd rather turn people off by them hating me, by them thinking I'm a piece of crap myself. I'd rather have you guys hate me for that reason and turn me off for that reason rather than being friggin' boring. That's what I got to say. I don't want to be boring at all. I want to be some guy that you turn on because you fucking hate him, or you turn him on because you have no idea what he's going to say, rather than having people turn me off because they're as boring as Richard Groiper is. That's what I want. That's what I want to say with that. And I said it. Let's see. I'm sorry I tried. At least I called. There we go. That's true. You call Azarian. Oh, so she's mentioning for Azariana to call in. Azariana calls in a lot. She's great at this. Let's see. You know what? I think tonight I'm done. We talked for an hour and a half. I covered 2 topics. I covered the stupid coronavirus or COVID-19 or CV, whatever you want to call it. It's a sickening topic. I'm sick of it. I want to get out there. I want to start taking my dog to coffee shops and talking to the people at the coffee shop and annoying the fuck out of them like I annoy the fuck out of you guys. I want to start having my annoying lifestyle back in action. That's what I want. I'm missing annoying people. I'm missing pissing people off. That's what I'm missing. I'm missing driving on the road and giving people the finger. There's not enough people now to give them the finger. I want to put my both fingers up in the air and piss people off while I'm driving. I want my life back, guys. I want America opened up again. I don't believe this bullshit anymore about. I don't believe it. I think it's fake. I think we're being manipulated. Then I talked about the stupid senseless. Let's see who we got here. Last caller for tonight. Guess who we have here? Who do we have? Guess who it is?
Yes, Barry.
Hey, what's going on?
Terry's here.
Yeah, what is going on? What's happening
Well,
with
I
you?
called to tell you that I hate you.
I know that. I'm a creep. I'm a creep. I knew that.
I think you're a piece of shit.
Okay. Well, we had that from my other
I
call.
called to tell you.
Well, we had that from Monet, who said I'm a piece of shit and I should start eating shit from the back of some ugly male's ass.
Well, she doesn't know you, and she's one of Richard's friends.
Yeah.
So, and that's why she's listening to your fucking show.
Yeah.
It pissed me off.
Why?
Anyway.
Well, did you think I handled
wanted to tell you something about the census first.
Okay, go ahead.
This is something boring. I don't know if it's true or not, Dave. I heard that for every census they get, government gives them money for every person in that particular state.
Well, well, of course, I would believe that from a couple perspectives. Number one is if you ever go to Las Vegas and you see those people selling timeshares, and I actually ask them, timeshare, I tell them I don't have a watch, I don't feel like sharing my time with you. You're going to steal the watch off of me. So I am a pain in the ass to everybody. I'm an equal opportunity pain in the ass guy, and you realize that more than most people, Terry. But right, so you
That's
go.
why I love you.
Okay, so cool. Well, I thought you said I was a creep, but nevertheless, so you go there and you see these people.
You are a creep. You are a creep, Dave. But I love you.
Well, thank you. So you go there and you see the people selling timeshares in Las Vegas, and I asked them. I said, "You're selling timeshares. You're the person that we initially talked to. You're the initial salesman in front of the casino, trying to attract people in to talk to them." To go to the presentation, a 90-minute presentation. What do you get? I think they said they get $25 for each person that they get to sign on the dotted line. And so I believe that's, well, if you're served by, for instance, I got a photo radar ticket, they try to serve you with the photo radar ticket by knocking on your door. And if they serve you successfully, you have to pay $60. And I'm sure that the person knocking on your door, the server of the ticket, doesn't get the whole $60, but they probably get 25 bucks out of the 60. The remaining amount of money probably goes to the company that hires these process servers, is what they're called. So I imagine that the senseless people that come to your door, that get you and get the questions answered, I'm sure, first of all, they get an hourly compensation for that, because I saw the ads for senseless takers on various websites and all. I'm sure they get also compensated some amount of money per each successful senseless taken. I'm sure you're right.
Well, the government will provide the state for each individual. I don't know if it's grown-up couple or person. I mean, how old they have to be, maybe 18 and over. I don't know, but the state will receive money from the federal government, is what I heard. That was a long time ago, David.
Yeah.
I heard that.
Now, you know what? You could fuck with them a lot, because like I said, I read this document. It says that if you don't fill it out, you have a potential penalty up to $100. If you fill it out and give them fictitious bullshit answers, you could be fined up to $500. So now, think about this. Suppose that the guy comes and knocks on your door, right? And suppose you have a recording device, like I have the recording device for my radio show, and I record the conversation. He asks me a question, I give him a bullshit answer. He asks me another question, I give him another bullshit answer. He asks me a third question, I give him a reasonable answer. And I know what the questions are going to be because I've got the document in front of me. So I try to word it so that he might not understand my answer. He may write down my answer, the fake bullshit answer I gave him. And then I take that recording and I re-record it and I re-edit it with accurate answers. So now I might get a $500 fine, and then I'm going to say, well, I answered the question accurately. The guy probably wrote down the answers incorrectly. Maybe he didn't understand me. Maybe he was drunk at the front door. Maybe he was high at the front door. He didn't understand my English correctly. I gave him the proper answers, and here's proof. I've got the recording, which I edited with the correct answers. I wonder what would happen then. I could screw with them, right? I could do that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
And what it's important that I also say about the coronavirus is that I don't think you and I are the type of people who, when this virus first hit us, hit the world, that we said, "Oh, this is a conspiracy. Something else is going on." I don't think we were I'm not the type of person to say something like that. I trust my government. But now I'm feeling like, what in the fuck are they doing? What are they trying to pull? What are they doing that they're not telling us about? And put it to again. For Christ's sake, Dave, what is going on? I don't think it's the coronavirus that is keeping us all in the house. We have 331 million people. No, 331 million people in this country. How many have died in this country? Is it over 1 million yet?
No. No, it's like less than 60,000.
Right.
Well, 60,000.
It's like the flu, isn't it?
But
that's what I think. What's going on here? The flu season.
Well, I think
that people have the flu.
Well, I think
something's going on. I don't know what the government is up to, but something is going on. I feel it. I can feel it. And when I hear somebody like you think it, and I have a brother-in-law who he was a state trooper. Now he works for the FBI. He's so straight and narrow. He's never done it. If he found $1 million and he was by himself, he'd return it. You know, he'd bring it to the police station. And that's the type of man he is. Very honest, very quiet man, very gentle. You wouldn't think he was a police officer at all. He said to his daughter the other day, he said, "Kat, I don't think the coronavirus is real. I think something else is going on." So when she called me up, "Auntie, you know what my father said?" And she told me, and it started me thinking, Dave.
Yeah, well, you know,
because I had been thinking it anyway.
Well, you know, I started thinking about it. Yeah. When this whole thing started, I was against the government shutting down. I was suspicious about it. I was thinking, you know what? I was thinking about, you know, we're adults here. Of course, the liberals want us to think that none of us are fucking adults. We're all children. We have to all be treated like children. We have to be told what to do. We have no common sense or no ability to think things through on our own. We're all people that need to be guided by the experts, and that is the liberal governments, the liberal governors, and liberal government in totality. So we're all told what to do. And I started thinking, you know what? Why? I mean, I'm 61 years old. I can make an intelligent decision. I can make a logical decision. I can make my own personal health decision. I know if I'm capable of defending myself against the virus. I know if I'm a target for potentially having a weakened immunity system. I know my health. I know my parents' health. And I'm going to protect myself. I'm going to protect my parents. I'm going to protect the public by making mature decisions. But of course, none of us are expected to have half a brain in our head because we're taught at a young age that we don't have brains in our heads and we need to be manipulated to our own benefit. So we're mandated by law on how to react and how to act, and it's sickening. So I thought about it. I thought, you know what? I don't need the government's advice on this. I want to self-contain myself at the times when I think I need to be self-contained and isolated and socially distancing. And I would have socially distanced myself from my next person next to me at the supermarket if it got to some point. But I don't think we had to close down the whole fucking government. I don't think we should have. I don't think we had to. I think that now, of course, the defense here is going to be the media, and everyone else is going to say, you know what? Better safe than sorry. You know what? We only had 60,000 deaths, but you know what? If we weren't playing it safe, we'd have 5 times that amount, 10 times that amount. We can't prove one way or the other. I'm just saying that we've damaged people's lives. We've damaged people's health. We've damaged people well beyond, and we've heard this on the news, that the cure is worse than the actual ailments. And it actually is. I feel like now We're all scared. We're all socially not able to talk to each other. We're all now accepting welfare. Basically, let's call it welfare. We're on unemployment with a boost of $600.
Wondering when you're going to get your check.
Yeah, which is exactly what
I already got mine.
Yeah, the liberals wanted all that. They wanted to be able to give people without them earning it. They wanted them to all be entitled to this money without earning this money. They love that. They love the dependence of people on their government. They love that. It's pure. It's sickening socialism, in my opinion. I'm sick of it. I don't like it at all.
It's me to death. Because I don't think our country is ever going to be the way it was in January.
No, it's not going to recover. I don't
Do
believe.
you?
No, I don't think it's going to recover.
No.
I really do not think it's going to recover. Not.
I know. How do you think it's going to be different those days?
I'm not exactly sure. I'll have to think about that before answering that question in the spare of the moment.
I know. Me too. It's just it's to me that's a scary part. How is our country that we both love? How is it going to change?
You give up a freedom temporarily. You give up a freedom temporarily. You give it up permanently. That's what it is in the United States. That's what it is with government. You give something up, and then you're never going to get it back. Terry, let me take another caller here, if you don't mind. Okay?
Okay, hang up.
No, you can hang on here. I'll connect the two of you guys. Hey, this is Dave Darren on the Dave Darren Show. Who is calling in, please?
Hi, it's Azarian.
Hey, it's Ariana. Let me. I'll connect you here with Terry at the same time, and we'll see if we can have you talk and Terry listen and answer at the appropriate times. So here we go.
Okay.
Azariana, welcome to the show. Terry, stand by. Let's have Azariana talk a little bit, and then I'm going to give you the ability to respond.
Hey, Terry.
Okay, so again, the ground rules are here. Let's let Ariziana talk. Then I'm going to get Terry to respond to it, and then I will respond to it. Let's have it done this way tonight. Ariziana, what did you want to talk about?
The census.
Okay.
I agree with some of the stuff you said.
But not all of it.
No, I mean, supposedly the money does go for the roads, the states, your representatives in the government. However, it's way too personal for me. And, I mean, it's like a big brother for me, you know?
Plus, like I said, I think they've got the majority of that information at their fingertips. Whether they manipulate it from us by us giving in our specific information to them already, they've got that information. Are they too lazy or too incompetent to not get that information they've got already? That's my opinion. They've got it already. Get the information that you got from us, that you manipulated us to give to you. Get the information. Instead of sending out all this information to 380 million people or 350 million people, instead of bugging the fuck out of 350 million people, get the information on your own, automate it so you get the information, and then you don't have to get it every 10 years. You can get it every single day of the year because you've automated it to be able to grab the information. I'm in technology all the time. There's ways to get information, build systems so you can get this information without having to personally bug the fuck out of people and send them mailings and threaten them by saying, your response is required by law. You've got the information already. You're too lazy to get it. Don't bother me for your fucking laziness. Sorry to use the words, but I'm pissed. I hate it.
Yeah.
Did you fill it out, by the way? Or you don't have to say if you don't want to. Did you fill it out? Will you fill it out?
I went online, I put the thing in, and then I read some of the questions, and I go, wow. I said, no, way too personal. And I said, nope, sorry, not going to do it.
Yep. Now, do you feel like, are you threatened by me holding up this letter, and it says, your response is required by law? Now, I did look up, and I typed in, now I didn't Google it and look for 20 responses to see how accurate they were. But from what I read, if you don't fill it out, you may be given a maximum penalty of $100. So now, $100, if you divide $100 by 10 years and calculate how many days are in 10 years, the amount of money that you're paying per day is going to be pretty insignificant. I don't mind paying $100. I don't want to fill it out. I do not want to fill it out, and I won't fill it out. I'll pay the $100.
Well, they used to threaten you with arrest.
With arrest?
You don't do it. They'll come to your door. Yeah.
Well, like I said, I didn't cross-reference my Google search to see what the penalties are. Like I said, I read quickly, and I read one reference, one Google search that said your penalty is a maximum of $100. If you falsify the document, your risk of penalty is up to $500. I didn't see anything that said jail time or arrest. I'm not sure if that's something that happened in the past. I remember reading that or hearing about that. You never know what's true, what's false, what's rumor, what's overly talked about that really would not happen and really never happen. I have really no idea. But Terry, did you fill it out, or would you rather not say? You don't have to say if you don't feel like it. Did you fill it out? Oh, did we lose Terry? It looks like we might. Oh no, Terry's still there. Are you still there, Terry?
Well, he's quiet.
Oh, okay. All right, so Ariziana, anything else on tonight? Because it is getting to the top of the hour. I talked for an hour and a half. I did pretty much a monologue on tonight's show. Anything else, coronavirus or anything out of the ordinary you feel like talking about?
No, I was just going to add that on the census, I don't think they have enough space because you had said it was just male and female. What if I feel like a male or an alien or anything else? Or if I'm trans something, transgender, or LB, all these abbreviations. They don't have that.
It should have on there transgender and trans fats because that's something we should not be consuming, trans fats. Don't eat donuts at Dunkin' Donuts. But you're right. They do not have the categories here, which today it's offensive not to be inclusive of every sexual orientation. They say male, female. They're not saying transgender. They're not saying gay, or now you got to say queer. What are the letters? T, L, G, B, T, Q. I got it. LGBTQ. Lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer. There should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There should be 5 boxes. There's only 2. Male, female. Suppose you don't identify with one of them. First of all, they're not being politically correct. They're being offensive. And they're not being inclusive in this document. It's not an accurate document.
Right. That's true. It should be.
And there should be a category in there that says I don't want to identify myself as a specific gender. It's on all of the hiring documents. You can exclude yourself from answering that question. You don't have to answer it if you don't want to. Yet you're mandated by this fucking document to put it in here. And you're mandated in this document to identify yourself as male and female and nothing else. And I don't really care. I don't really care about identifying myself as male or female by the parts that are on my body. But today's society mandates that you are inclusive. It's not me. It's everyone else saying you got to be inclusive. It's not me. It's everyone else saying you got to be inclusive. Otherwise, you're offending people and you are disenfranchising them.
Yeah. What does it say about... Sorry, Terry.
Go ahead, Terry. Your turn for a change.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, Ariana. Your turn.
I was going to say, what do they say about religion? Because the last one, they had religion on there, and they didn't have mine.
I didn't see religion on I didn't see religion on the one I'm holding up here in my hand. I don't see that. I see nationality, sexual orientation, and race. I don't see religion on here at all. Now, I haven't been on the online one, so you were on the online one, and they asked you about religion.
I don't. No, I like I said, I didn't fill it out. I saw some of the questions, and I don't know if there was anything about religion on there. The last one, there was religion. The last one.
I don't remember that. 10 years ago, I don't remember. But obviously, religion is one. I wonder, they would have to put every single religion down here. Or they'd have to put other. I think one of the questions here did have the word other on it. So you do have to...
No, it just had the basic organized one.
Yeah.
And they didn't have mine. And I told the person, you don't have mine. And they said, well, yeah, we have all, Christian, Lutheran, Protestant, whatever, right?
Uh-huh.
Seventh-day Adventist or whatever, or Mormon or whatever. I said, you don't have mine. And they said, well, okay, well, what's your religion? I said, pagan. That's not a religion. Yes, it is. I said, you look it up. I said, you know. And they're going, that's not a religion. Yeah, okay, then I don't have to fill the rest of it out. Go away. So,
Wow.
you know.
And I don't exist, right? If you don't have my religion, then I don't exist.
Well, yeah, obviously you don't exist if you're queer or transgender because they only recognize in question number 4 male and female. And like I said, I don't feel like...
That's the thing.
Yeah, so they knock on your door and they're asking you to identify yourself as male or female, yet you're transgender. So you don't identify with one of them, so how can you answer the question? Right?
Yeah.
And there is no box there where you check it off and it says other, where you can check out the box and then write in transgender or queer. There's no box there saying other where you check it off and
Dave,
it's not
Dave, let me ask, if you're transgender and you, does that mean you've already had the surgery?
I'm not sure. I think you would. I don't remember the exact terms as transgender. I don't.
I thought that it meant that you've already had the surgery. So wouldn't you be considered a man or a woman?
Well, you know, there's all the debates about, okay, so you're born with a penis, so you're a guy. Now you had the penis cut off and put in a pickle jar. What are you now? What are you a male? Are you a male that slices it off and you identify yourself as male with a pickle jar, or what do you do? What do you identify yourself with?
But they don't cut it off. I heard that they stick it in.
Yeah, oh, they don't cut it off.
That's how they can feel sex.
So it's not a gherkin.
Because they still have the penis, but it's inverted. I think.
So it's
now,
not,
just heard that.
So it's not a.
I don't know if it's so.
It's not a gherky, crispy pickle. It's not. It's not a kosher pickle in a pickle jar, right? Where you auction that penis off on eBay. Can you? I wonder if you can auction that penis off on eBay if you happen to be a male that cut it off and can you auction it off on eBay? I wonder what the price for a penis is on eBay these days. I wonder what the price is.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Bruce Jenner.
No, I haven't seen one.
Yeah, Bruce Jenner would have a valuable one because he's athletic. So you stick that on there, and it's going to be a penis. Is not going to require any Viagra because it's a very athletic penis that he's auctioning off, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, ladies, I think I'm done for the evening.
I really thought he was so handsome. Well, I don't know what the fuck happened to him.
I don't. Well, I don't. Did you think he was handsome? Do you think Bruce Jenner was a handsome guy?
I do. Well, of course, I was young when he was in the Olympics. I thought he was so handsome, you know. But then I found out he was going to, transfer his gender, and I just couldn't believe it.
Well, you know, one of the things I don't understand is today with all the technology that we have, where you can take your home, you can take a picture of your home, you can take out all the furniture and put in furniture to see how it's going to look decorated differently. You can see how it's going to look with different colors. Why didn't Bruce Jenner use the software available to stick a wig on him, breast on him, and see what he's going to look like, to see what a fucking nightmare he's going to look like as a woman? I don't understand that. Use the software.
According to some people, he cross-dressed when he was doing that stupid show, and but they wouldn't put it on camera.
Huh. I didn't know that. So he was on the Kardashians with, everything was on that show. You had a big ass, you had Botox lips. Why not stick Bruce Jenner on there in a dress? I don't understand that.
Yeah, I don't know, but they wouldn't film it, or if they filmed it, it didn't air.
Huh. Wow.
It sounds like a real trashy show. I've never seen it, but I always hear about it.
Yeah. Well, you can't watch it now. Bruce Jenner's not on there anymore. Right? He's not.
Well, I want to see him as a girl.
Yeah. No, I don't.
That would be like you coming in. Oh, I know what I was going to say to you. Stand up and drop your pants.
Well, I don't want to show you my... I do not want to show you my pickle. I do not want to show you my pickle on the Dave Darren Show.
I don't want to see a pickle. I want to see your legs stand up.
Oh, no.
And,
My legs.
or when you bring the dog out, Willie out to the pool tomorrow, turn your finger. Let me see your legs.
So
I saw the bottom of your legs.
Oh, so
I want to see the top, and I want to see your bathing suit.
No, what you want me to...
This foot has to be tied. I want to come over and do that for you.
What you want to do is you want me to drop...
I don't want you going around with your ties just hanging down.
What Terry would like me to do is drop my pants so she can see my willy, correct?
I would like you to drop your pants, absolutely.
You want to see my willy?
I don't want to see your willy. I know, I've already seen Willie, and he's a good swimmer.
Yeah, but
I want to see your legs.
I think a long time ago they used
I
the male.
I can a man's penis by his legs.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't think I want to decrease my ratings to that degree of my ratings are bad enough, Terry. My ratings suck as it is.
Doesn't matter, you chicken.
Now my legs look like a chicken. That's why I don't want to show you my chicken legs.
Dave.
No, that's all right.
I don't think they could show it on YouTube.
No, I think you can show legs on YouTube, but
you can't just stand in his underwear.
No, I do have pants. No, well, we're not going to get. We're going to get off that topic. We're going to get off that topic. So Terry.
I see you don't like that.
No.
What a chicken.
Well, the reason I don't want to show you my legs is because I shave my legs, I strap on breasts, and I put a wig on. And I go out as a transgender in the evening. So I don't want to give you guys that. So again, let me thank Terry for calling in. Let me thank Zariana for calling in. Let me thank Monet for calling in. And let me hang up on you guys right now so I can close down the show. I appreciate you guys calling. Okay.
Next time will you wear your bathing suit?
No. That's it. I hung up. I'm not going to wear a bathing suit on my show. I'm not a bathing beauty. So thanks all you guys for checking out the show. I'm sure it disgusted the majority of you. Let's see. Brian says you could probably only buy a penis on the dark web. That's what Brian says. I wonder if you can actually buy that on the dark web. I don't know. Can you have that? I know if you cut off a finger, if you bring it in on time. And I think Lorena Bobbitt, didn't they go look for, what was his name? Didn't they go looking for the penis so they could reattach it? Or didn't they? I think they actually did reattach it. I think they found it and reattached it. So I guess you could reattach it. No idea. I'm done for tonight, guys. I have finished. I talked about enough stuff. I'm done. Closing theme song for the Dave Darren Show, and I will see you guys whenever I see you. I get criticized all the time for not doing shows at the consistency that I should be doing it, but then if I was doing a show that had consistency, that would mean I'd be trying to really become a radio personality or a podcaster. And to this degree, I'm really not interested in doing that. So I do the show for fun, and whenever I feel like having the fun of the evening or a topic, I do it. Let's see. Monet says Richard Groper is a god. Yeah, you could keep thinking that if you'd like to. Cheers, guys.
Be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.